from 190.
It just counted down from 364, and we also had different numbers on our countdown till go. But we're go. All right, folks, welcome back. Episode number Cinco de Mayo, full hand, 5 rings. Cinco. DTJL, don't talk, just listen podcast. B-Dubs here. Got my boy.
Big Nick,
welcome
back.
Welcome, buddy. What's going on? Week out?
Big Nick.
You're within a week?
Nick. Week out from the wedding. We're pretty much done. The only thing I need is to get some Hawaii wardrobe. So a lot of Hawaiian shirts, maybe some Tommy B. Yeah, you know my wardrobe. I wear the same things.
Are you wearing? Is that Detroit Pistons?
So yeah, I'm jacked. Detroit Pistons.
Yeah,
Pistons.
Well, okay. You got the can.
The Pistons are around the corner. I can smell them. You know, the Lions don't play today, so I'm not all decked out. I should be wearing.
I was gonna say, will you actually be able to watch Red Zone this week, or is that just gonna be I got to go to Home Depot, carpentry, windows?
Yeah, I might run to the mall, get some China food, and then I'll just park it right here. What about you? What's been going on?
This is an early day. As always, got the Cardinals game this afternoon. I don't even know what time they actually play. I just know I'm going to the game. And house hunt, Cardinals game, Chinese food, and I'm missing Red Zone, but at least I'm not missing the Lions. They play tomorrow. I'll wrap up work. It's a 5:20 kickoff here. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. 10 a.m. Red Zone. Yeah, I freaking love that.
So jealous.
Speaking of errands, had a little bit of a funny encounter this past week with an interesting NFL legend. I think future Hall of Famer. We can discuss that on another show. But
Definitely.
You think he's a Hall of Famer? All right, we'll jump in.
Yeah, just the name alone.
So going to Walgreens. Again, we're new to town. We're just, this is Scottsdale, Arizona. We walk into, I pull up into Walgreens. There's literally no one there. It's a Sunday afternoon, and there's 0 cars in the parking lot. So there's like 2 normal spots up front and a whole mess of handicap. So naturally, I have like front spot. I'm like, okay, I'll take this. I pulled in. Again, I'm new to the area. There was a glare maybe coming out of a southern wind that kind of blew and whistled around a little bit. So I didn't park perfectly, but I was like, there's no one here. So I'm over the line. I'm taking up 1.35 spots for sure. And then this all murdered out, blacked out Range Rover with like the tires that are about this thin and the rims are about yay high. I couldn't show the bottom hand, but like yay high.
Taller than you.
Way bigger than me. I'm 5'10" on a good day with shoes on. Yeah. So Julia walks in, this Range Rover pulls up all murdered out. So I like look over and I'm like, that's a big dog sitting in there. And he gets out of the car and he like has to do one of these. He can't get out of the car very easily. Like there's like this much room. And so he's like squeezing through, like trying not to hit my car. Very respectful. We're going to add him in this post. And all of a sudden it's like big red t-shirt. I'm like, this is unmistakable. Fucking T-Sizzle. T-Rel Suggs pops out of this blacked out Range Rover and is just staring me down. And he's hot. He looks hot pissed.
Dude, because he parked like a bum.
I literally am the worst guy for doing that. And I felt miserable. It was one of those where I blacked out. Like he gets out and then.
I'm surprised he didn't just like push your car a little bit.
Dude, if he touched my car, it would have flipped the fuck over. It would have been game over. Like he gets out and then he slow paces around the front of my car staring at me the whole way. And I've got my Lions gear on.
I would have dipped.
Just left Julia behind. Just, hey, bye. See you guys. I thought about it. I also thought about rolling down the window, being like, hey, Sizzle, like, sorry, bro, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I just didn't want to open my mouth because I know if I did say something, I was in that state of mind where I would have sounded like a schoolgirl, like, hey, sorry, something like that. It's a mess. So
Carmine,
welcome to Arizona. You fucked over T-Sizzle. We'll add him in the comments. Maybe he'll say back like, yeah, you little fucking piglet. Like, what's the deal, buddy? But who knows?
You little piglet.
I'm white. I'm just like all pale. I'm not tan yet. He's like, you're not from around here. What the fuck? Yeah, you don't know. Could be anything, but.
Just thought you were going to have a nice little Sunday.
And then Julio passes him on the way back out. And I'm like, did you see that? She's like, see what? I'm like, the 6'8" monster of a human being with a bright red shirt on. She's like, no, but that's a cool car. I'm like, okay, welcome. Just a small glimpse into my world. Yeah.
Sounds more fun than mine.
I'll trade you.
TNF.
Oh, we had football again this week. It was fun.
We're one game into week 2. And it was entertaining, surprisingly entertaining. One game
I had to
into
really
week
think
2.
about that one. One game into week 2.
It's a pretzel
it's
for your brain.
little more than I can handle. What was your takeaway here? So Thursday Night Football, you figure NFC East, it's probably going to be a trash matchup, maybe a defensive 9-10 kind of game, last-second field goal, which there was. But, yeah, what was your takeaway from this one?
So going into this game, everyone's like, oh, low scoring. I think the over-under was like 40.5, something stupid that everybody was being baited to take the under because it looked so low. Not me.
Not Big Nick.
I hammered that over.
Wow.
And I also took the over for Daniel Jones passing yards, which he got on the last drive, which was great. But my big takeaway, honestly, is the Washington secondary is a little sketch. The front seven is obviously stout, and these teams are just dinking and dunking real quick on them. And Danny Dimes, wow, Danny Sweet Feet.
His strides are long. Like when you're watching that long touchdown that got called back because that BS freaking call and the holding on the outside by the receiver, he's taking like 3 steps and he's by a corner. And I'm like, who is this guy? Long strides.
Yeah, and so fantasy implications, if he's available on your wire, I mean, the guy's going to get you 10 points on the ground, it seems like. I mean, he ran for, 92 yards?
Touchdown. Should have had a $150 plus and 2 touchdowns on the ground.
Against a stout
exactly
front seven.
Right.
I mean, that was my takeaway, and then Taylor. Little Taylor Heineke. But let's
you
hear
like
what
Taylor?
You have to say.
Do you like him for fantasy, or you just like him for the WFT? Okay.
WFT, not for
no
fantasy.
Chance on fantasy right now. Maybe. Never. We'll get.
No, maybe.
All right, so I had a similar kind of reaction to the game. Watched the whole thing start to finish, and A, I was shocked by the score, first and foremost, but B, Washington is giving up 400-plus yards a game, 562 of those through the air.
That's crazy.
They're giving up 24.5 points a game and 126 rush yards a game. And it's just, they're only 5 yards a game on the ground better than the Lions right now. Now, I know it's early, but I just want to put this in perspective. From a preseason standpoint, this is a top 3 defense. They were top 5 in QB pressures last year. But to your point, the secondary has to step up. Injuries aside, there's just no excuse for giving up that many points and that many yards to the teams that they've played. You're not going to win the NFC East. God forbid they play Dallas. I'd love to see what happens there, because if they don't have it figured out by the time they go in to Arlington and see Jerry World, it's game. Dak is going to shred them.
Yeah, they're going to get...
It won't even be fun to watch. But I think they're in trouble. I'll be honest.
I mean, just the yards they're giving up on the ground.
Right.
Just the yards they're giving up on the ground is.
You can't.
I mean, secondary aside, they should not be giving up.
No, you can't be giving up Lions. You can't be giving up Lions level yards on the ground and expect to compete, even in the NFC East, which is one of the weaker divisions. Still, don't care what people say. What was your kind of fantasy fallout from that game? I think we had a couple storylines you could take away.
So, Danny
that's
Dimes,
your number one.
I mean, that's the big one for me. That's my number one. The rushing is key in any fantasy league. The fallout, to your point, is Kenny Galladay. He looks frustrated in that offense.
Yeah.
He's not getting targeted.
You see him yelling on the sideline?
And then on the other side of the ball, dude, he was.
I've never seen him do that in Detroit.
Have fun with him, guys.
Bye.
He basically faked an injury his last year in Detroit. So enjoy. Sterling Shepard's a stud. Obviously, the Slayton drop was a nightmare, or overthrown pass.
It's a 60-40. It hits your hands. You should have caught it, but it was definitely.
It hit his hand.
It was overthrown.
It hit his hand.
It was
and he
overthrown.
Didn't lay out. Like, why did
he was on an off foot? It looks like he was on an off foot, maybe.
Sell
out for a game winner.
I would have caught it.
I'll pick up exactly where you left off. Sterling Shepard. I think, again, if he's available, go get him. You should have got him last week after a 10-target performance, just based on volume alone. He's locked. Daniel Jones is locked into this guy. He's got 19 targets. He's caught 16 of them. Both games have been a little bit different. So you have a low-scoring game, he gets 10 targets. You have a higher-scoring game for an NFC East team, he gets 9 targets. He's getting the touchdown looks. He's staying on the field for a percentage of snaps. I got him locked in as a WR2 for rest of year outlook right now. I think he should be in starting lineups. I think he's probably right in that WR 23 to 28 range right now. And if he's on your bench, you're going to be sorely mistaken. I had him on a bench. This is why I'm mistaken in 2 leagues, but started him in 1. I mean, I think it's for the rest of the year, you have to do it. I just really think when he's dropping back, when Daniel Jones is dropping back, he's looking for Sterling Shepard. He doesn't give a shit about Kenny Galladay. Evan Ingram's out. Yeah. Okay, so you got Evan Ingram out. That might eat into that when he comes back. Barkley.
What is Saquon? That's what I just said. Eat into it because Saquon
played 86% of the snaps on Thursday night, so he's definitely coming back. He will be back to full health eventually. That will eat in a little bit, right?
He looked.
But with his efficiency, you don't need 10 targets a game. Even if that number drops to 7 or 8 and he's still getting some red zone looks, he has breakaway speed. If he can stay healthy, WR2 year out, that's my fantasy quick hit. I think you need to pick him up if he's available. I would even trade for him if you can. I think he's really going to finish as a very high WR2 by the end of this year. Look what he plays.
So you think he's in the WR2 slot, not the flex
I would start him over guys in that middle range. I mean, I would start him over...
Like Kenny Galladay?
Dude, Kenny Galladay needs to be on your bench until proven otherwise. That's how I feel about him.
Yeah, I wouldn't... But you're not going to start him over Scary Terry.
No, that's a WR1. That's a WR1.
WR1.
Completely a WR1, especially with Heineke dialed into this guy. It's game over. They don't throw the ball to anybody else, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very entertaining game, but I was not entertained at the end. I had a very bad
I love a good bad beat.
Just a classic.
How bad of a beat was it?
So I took. It was terrible. It was terrible. So I parlayed the over with the Giants money line.
Oh, you're one of those guys.
I'm watching the whole game, the over hits, and I'm just like, all right, Giants are in control. I see Slayton wide open down the middle. Whatever happened there happened because that would have sealed it. And then the Redskins march back down the field real quick, kick a field goal, misses right, and I jumped out of bed. Like I was jacked.
Were you watching on the phone in bed? You're just here.
I haven't. Yeah, I was pissed, and it was plus 400 that parlay. So I was like sitting there like, all right, this is sick. Like he just missed it, and then everyone's kind of looking around, and the fucking flag came out. It was so classic, such a classic Nick gambling day. Like it's just
we've had a lot of bad beats over the years. So up until gambling was legal, Nick and I and sometimes his brother Ben would get in on bets together. So we'd have a chain every Sunday or Saturday, throw in bets all together, split the wins and losses. So that's like the last 2 or so years we've been doing that. We've been mildly successful. You win some, you lose some. But in terms of all-time bad beats, I'll bring up one that we had last year that it's a notorious bad beat. We've had a bunch over the years. We've had, last year, 2 years ago, LA Chargers game where Melvin Gordon couldn't get it in from the 1 on 3 tries and then fumbles it.
But this bad beat, they always show.
This is the one
all year. This year,
I sent you the video on Instagram. I mean, it's just it relive. I think every year it's just going to relive itself. Daniel Jones tripping on the 80-yard touchdown run. I can't remember. I tried looking back. Not sweet feet. It was like a sniper came out of nowhere and said, "Hey, Papu." It was like they knew we had money on. So we had a solid. It was like $50 or $100 on this money line, and it would have paid out handsomely had it hit.
Yeah, it was like plus 1,000.
Back to the out of your seat. He's running. I'm like, game. Let's go. Just won the week with this one.
Yeah, same.
Nope. So the Danny Dimes, that's probably a top 3 all-time bad beat for a touchdown score. We'll take spreads and everything else out of it because that's just there's plenty of those. So horrible. I just think I love Danny Dimes though. So I don't take it against him personally. He just has it's the face maybe. He just looks confused, but he's smart at the same time. I don't know.
He just looks like a Giants quarterback.
That's exactly right. Like he fits Eli the mold. Next segment is just a beautiful one. We gave you guys some winners last week. Swipe right, swipe left. Who sponsored this again?
We did.
Who's
Farmers Meat and Christian Mingles.
Is it Mingles or Mingle?
Christians Mingle.
Oh, so the S is on the Christians. There's multiple Christians and they mingle. So. Okay, I just want to clarify. I want to make sure we get it right. They're paying us a handsome reward. A lot of money in the church. Yeah. I know that.
There's a ton of
last year, what did we say? Or last week, what did we say? Eckler, hard swipe left. What did he finish as? The RB27. And you drafted him in the first round.
Yep.
You're welcome in advance. Sorry, Dow. Sucks to suck, bro. Lat Murray. He finished outside the top 25, but what did he do? Scored a touchdown. That's a solid swipe right for a guy who just started on a team that year. So,
and it was a nice run. It was a nice run.
We gave you some success. Volume. So pay attention really quick here. I'll just jump right in. I'll throw some names out you. We'll just go boop, 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 boop. Tyrod Taylor at Cleveland after just decimating the Jags last week. Are you going right or left on this fella?
Oh, swipe left. No way. I think the Cleveland D is down. I think it's going to be tough. It's at Cleveland.
It is in Cleveland. Yep. Dog pound going to eat.
Tough. The weather's just going to be gorgeous, but that front seven's a little scary. And Tyrod's, I mean, he diced up the Jags.
Still diced them up, though.
They
All
suck.
right, so you're saying
no, the
out. Bench him.
Cleveland's going to dominate.
Don't even pick him up if he's on the waiver wire. Don't even complicate things. I got you. A-Rob versus Cincinnati. Right. Bad week last week. Didn't do much. I think he put up 9 or 10 PPR fantasy points. What's he doing against Cincinnati at home?
This one's tough. This tough for me. I'm going to swipe right just on his talent alone. But there's going to be some more Justin Fields packages today. He's apparently wowing the Bears staff like they didn't know he's so much better than Andy Dalton. That I don't know how that staff still exists. But I'm going to swipe right, and I think both quarterbacks complete at least one pass to Allen Robinson, and he scores a touchdown this week.
You got it locked in for a tud, 15 to 18 points minimum. You got his floor right in that range. Start with confidence. All right, Zeke Elliott.
I'm gonna throw a bet on that.
On the Allen Robinson one? On just like a anytime touchdown score?
Yeah, I'm gonna throw it to anytime touchdown score.
All right, lock that in. That's a bet. That's a freebie, guys. Just so you know, that's a freebie.
Lock that in.
Is that a key you swallowed?
So you said
Zeke Elliott. He's in LA against the Chargers last week. 33 rush yards. Looked like dog shit, just like usual. But what's he gonna do? You starting him?
So he looked like dog shit, but they didn't really use him. I mean, I don't know how many.
It was 11 carries, 33 yards on 11 carries.
I'm gonna swipe right. I think Zeke has a big day. I think he gets again at least one score, and I think he puts up about 100 on the ground. I think he rumbles this week, and I think they try to run the ball a lot to keep it out of LA's
Don't let Herbert get the ball because he will score. Hey Bear,
Justin Herbert.
It's a Bear actually. All right, that's the third I got.
What do you think? Are you in line with those?
I honestly,
you disagree with any of those swipes?
My biggest concern is the Tyrod Taylor one. Tyrod Taylor, however you want to say it.
He's kind of a wild card.
I think, and I doubled down with Houston last week. I gave you guys a good bet on that one. That was an easy cover for them with +3 against Jacksonville. I just think Houston is sneaky good this year. I think that literally there's been so much negativity around them. They can't stop anybody on defense. It was T-Law week 1. I get that. You've got Baker and you've got probably Chubb and Hunt are going to go for 100 yards apiece easily, right? I get that. But I think from a fantasy perspective, he's going to have to throw for 250, 300 yards. He's going to get you another 50 on the ground. He's probably going to have 1 to 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's my only one. I'm just like, I don't know. I think for fantasy,
so
I personally would have swiped right.
Okay, we'll see.
I would have given him an injection and not punctured his lung last year. That's how much I liked him. Just saying.
All right, I got some juicy ones for you. I'm going to start with Josh Allen. A lot of people are, especially Bills Mafia, are like, trade him. He had one bad week against this vaunted Steelers defense. But what do you think he does this weekend? Josh Allen, he's at Miami.
In Miami. Left.
Probably be about
Swipe
95.
Left. I'm swiping left. I think he's going to have a slow start this year, guys. I'm very high on Josh Allen, rest of season outlook. I think this is a tough matchup against probably the best cornerback and secondary tandem. I don't see him going for that vaunted 30 to 35 fantasy points that fantasy owners were expecting all of last year. Not that he's going to have a bad game. I'll get, probably 220 to 250 in the air, another 30 to 50 on the ground, probably 2 touchdowns, which that's a startable quarterback. If Tyrod Taylor does that, you're looking like a freaking genius. But this is Josh Allen. This is a guy you probably took in the 4th, 5th, maybe 6th round.
So are you swiping
left?
It's
a hard left.
Right. He's projected
hard
24.
Left. He's going under 24.
He's going to go under.
Hard left. Okay. Don't bench him unless you have something better, but it's a swipe left. Yeah. Next.
Yeah. A.J. Brown at Seattle.
That's a swipe right. I think A.J. Brown is an absolute monster. I think they have to get the passing game going. Derrick Henry had a horrible game last week, and a lot of it was because Tannehill just didn't look comfortable. I think he's trying to figure out how to incorporate Julio Jones into this offense. Again, I think the loss of Jonnu Smith to the Patriots was a lot bigger than people think from a blocking and pass-catching perspective. And so I think they're figuring it out. Again, you're going to see a slow start out of Tennessee, but I would start A.J. Brown this week. That's a hard swipe right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf matchup is going to be fun to watch. But I agree. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think the secondaries are a little sketchy on both sides. So the last one I got here is for the Monday Night Football, I got Jamal Williams against his former Green Bay Packers.
That's a swipe right. I think that there's plenty of meal to go around to feed two mouths in that backfield. I think they're probably both scoring a touchdown this week. I think they're probably both going over 100 all-purpose yards. I think the Lions are going to really...
In both, you mean DeAndre Swift?
Absolutely. I think there's plenty of room in this backfield for two mouths. And I think that Jamal Williams is probably the RB3 end of this. DeAndre Swift probably the RB2 end.
Lucky mouth.
I wish I had a mouth like that. Real pretty. Plus, I just love his pressers, his post and pregame,
Dude, was that yesterday? The day
2 days ago, yeah.
Green Bay beating
this is just, it's money. I want to touch this guy all over the place. I want him touching me. I want all the goods all in and around me. Plenty of mouths.
Treasure.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll start him with confidence in a flex position, especially with running backs this year. Swipe right, put him in your lineup if you've got room. If you have three running backs that are better than that, please contact me about a trade. Love running backs.
I just threw him in the flex in my big money league over some unvaccinated Bills receiver.
I bench him. I actually would drop him and then disbar him. I don't know if you can disbar someone who's not even past the bar, but I would disbar him. Yeah, absolutely. Let's dive into some lines. So how'd we do last week?
Here we go.
What happened last week?
I was terrible. I was 1-2, thought I was 3-0, went to bed thinking I went 3-0, didn't check at all. Literally didn't know I went 1-2 and 1-2 until we talked yesterday.
It's
or
a
2
mess.
days ago.
Yeah.
And you went 3-0. You were great.
Locks.
So altogether 4-2. We'll track these as the weeks progress. Still a winner if you did all 6. If you just took Ben, good for you. If you just took me,
that means this week you probably take all Nick and nothing for me.
What do you got for me this week? Yeah.
This week? All right. So I'll dive right in. I love Cincinnati +2.5 versus Jacksonville. Or I'm sorry, versus Chicago. So Cincinnati +2.5 against Chicago. I think
I'm going to take all.
If you're smart, you'll put probably $50 a pop on each of these. That's the smart money.
Is this in Chicago? Is that game in Chicago?
Yes, it's in Chicago. Sorry, my handwriting's not great, guys. I don't know if I've told anyone that. It's chicken scratch. Just lock this one in. Cincinnati. Okay, so the offense is going to go off. I know the Bears defense, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I think Joe Burrow is the real deal. He has way too many weapons. I think Joe Mixon, at least until he gets hurt about week 6 or 7, is going to continue to put up 100-plus yards on the ground. I just love Cincinnati this week. I think they'll probably win by 6 or 7.
And Jamar Chase figured out where the white is on the ball. Jamar Chase figured it out. He did his
best. Next pick, Denver -6. They've got Jacksonville. That defense is just so damn good. I think T-Law is good for 3 picks in this one. I really think that this Denver defense is just going to suffocate the hell out of them. I think that Denver, they've just figured it out. They've got a good rhythm. Yes, they lost Jerry Jeudy. I get that, but I think Tim Patrick's going to step up. I think Noah Fant's going to have a really good week at tight end.
Sutton.
Yep, Cortland Sutton. I think there's.
Of course you do.
You know I do. Reached on Noah Fant, so he better have a good week or I'll be pissed. So -6 against Jacksonville. I think a touchdown's easy by a win there, even with some late garbage time.
Dude, so I love this line too. I didn't take it, but it just seems like a trap to me. I'm still going to lock it in, but it just seems like too low. Like I thought Broncos would be favored.
It seemed too good to be true, and it obviously is. But that's why I like it, because smart men like you will say that's too good to be true. I say that's too good to be true. Take my retirement funds. That's the kind of guy I am. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then the last pick, this is just stealing candy from a baby. New Orleans Saints. My pick for the NFC South Division winner, -3 against Carolina. Carolina's a good team. They showed us that they can beat the Jets. Good for you. Now you've got New Orleans in town. I just don't see them doing a thing against that defense. Again, the defense still middle of the pack, probably 9 through 12 in terms of rankings. It's enough to shut down Darnold. It's enough to shut down – I almost said shut down Christian McCaffrey. That was close. You're never going to shut down Christian McCaffrey, but they will contain him. He's still going to put up 20-plus points, but they will contain him from a scoring standpoint. I got New Orleans -3. I think that's my lock of the week.
And that's -120. There's a lot
Money
of juice on that.
Money is flowing.
That was one of my picks as well. I love that pick. So
now I don't love it as much. Now I don't love it as much.
So it could be my one win. But no, I got two others, and I'll think of some prop bet to throw in to replace that New Orleans Saints one. So I got to go with the Patriots again.
Ride them.
I mean, there's no way they're going 0-2 against the spread.
Who do they got
to start the season, or 0-2 to start the season?
Who are they playing?
I got a -6 at New York Jets.
Yeah, that's another scary one, but yeah,
so
I like it.
It's another trap line, right? Because it seems it fits the bill. I mean, the defense is going to be very confusing for Zach Wilson to figure out. Mac Jones, just protect the ball, don't turn it over, put up 21 points, and they'll probably win this game 21-10. I don't think the Jets will be able to score much at all. So I like that pick. And then the Monday night game, I love the over in this game. I think what happened for the Lions last week will repeat itself again. The Packers will go up huge, probably 28-7. Quick, Devontae's going to go off.
He needs that.
And then the Lions late will score 2 or 3 touchdowns. Trash time. Obviously weather dependent. If it's downpouring rain, there's not going to be too many points. But I love the over in that game at 48 right now, and it's probably going to go up. And I think that one's around -120.
So let's lock that in. So we're 4-2 from last week. We'll see what these next 6 picks do. Real quick, we're at 25 or so minutes. We're going to wrap it up here. Last quick topic, just your surprise team from week 1. I'll go first because you just segmented right into it unintentionally. I think the panic meter.
Was it unintentional?
Or was it? Green Bay, surprise team from week 1. It's a panic meter. I've got my panic meter from, let's say, the relax from 3 years ago, like the RELAX, that Aaron Rodgers interview. That's like here. They're only here. They're not at the relax moment yet. But Zadarius Smith just got put on IR. Aaron Rodgers is looking checked out like no other. I just think they looked horrible against a team that you personally think is only an 8 or 9 win team and won't even make the playoffs in the New Orleans Saints. So if they lose to the Lions and go 0-2 on Monday Night Football in prime time and Rodgers has another checked out game, Jordan Love will be starting week 4. That is my piece. That's my surprise from week 1.
Yeah. If he's actually tossing the season,
it'll be obvious.
I don't think he is.
We'll see. That's just my thought.
We'll see. Yeah, I think they're going to be good. And talk about overreaction. You're overreacting to Green Bay's loss. Let's overreact to the Saints win.
No.
Maybe it was just a fluke.
Dominant.
So we'll see what happens there. But no, my NFL surprise team, who I think is finally showing some promise under none other than John Gruden, are the Las Vegas Raiders. Almost said Oakland Raiders.
It's 10 push-ups if you say that. But 10 push-ups if you do that on this show.
Yeah, that was an impressive win. Renfro is solid little fantasy guy. I think he had 9 targets. God. Waller's obviously a hog.
20 a game.
Got so many targets, like 20 a game. It's insane, and he deserves it. I mean, he's unbelievable. But the surprise to me against the Ravens was that Oakland or Las Vegas Raider defense. I thought the defense was solid against the Ravens. Raiders. But I thought the defense looked stout. I thought they looked good. I thought they looked like an old Gruden team. So it'll be interesting to watch. But the one thing I did want to mention is they have a very hard schedule.
Ooh.
I mean, you're talking about the Broncos
Kansas City twice.
Chargers
That's
twice.
That's a tough division in the AFC.
Kansas City twice. They got at Pittsburgh. Like, it's at Dallas, at Cleveland, at Indianapolis. They pulled the AFC North. So if they can get to 10 or 12
they pulled the
wins,
AFC North. That's a tough draw for any team.
Yeah, it's tough.
Awesome.
So,
all right, well, lock in those bets. I'm going to lock in probably one of those. I won't actually bet all of them. It's typically if I lock in all the bets that I pick and give you guys, they won't hit. So I don't want to actually do that. But lock in all of Nick's, 100%. Yeah. We'll see how we did next week.
I'm going to parlay all of them.
Parlay it all. Put 100 on a parlay for that. But that's episode 5, DTJL. Don't talk, just listen. We are going live on Facebook. We will share this video for everyone to watch as you're sitting there getting ready for Red Zone, watching the countdown, listening to the music. Throw it on. It's going to be 25, 30 minutes, but maybe you'll get a little enjoyment out of it. But subscribe our YouTube channel. Follow us on social. Any parting words of wisdom, Big Nick?
Yeah, I mean, take our picks, take Ben's picks. You'll make some money.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I wanted to leave you with this one question.
Shit.
So this is from Nat Geo Kids, another
Nat
sponsor,
Geo
and then I can
Kids.
sign off for you here. So I'll read it verbatim from the magazine. So after eating a seal or a sea lion, how long can a great white shark go without another big
45
meal?
days.
45 days. So that's I'm gonna take that answer. It's at least a month they can go. Which, after it eats a sea lion,
don't test me on Nat Geo Kids trivia because I will dominate. I know it all. I've read every one.
But that's episode 5 of Don't Chalk, Just Listen. Go Lions, go Cards. See you guys out there.